Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. If you're wondering why I'm starting off this video with a view of the storage section of my acrylic workstation, it does actually have some bearing on today's video. I was in at my supplier, I was picking up some plastics for a job I'm doing for a client, and I got some interesting news. Apparently, not just acrylic, but other plastics as well, are getting harder and harder for them to order. As a matter of fact, some of it is on back order for like 8 to 12 weeks. And every time there's that sort of situation, prices go up. And some of the things I buy are doubling in price almost. I'm not entirely sure about acrylic itself, but it has already gone up quite a bit thanks to COVID. And I suspect that part of it is not over yet. So I have a lot in stock. That's why I showed you the storage system I have there for it. But thanks to COVID and all the last year and a half, I'm very careful with the materials and supplies I have. I don't want to waste anything. So that leads to today's video. The last video I did for this, I had put together a simple acrylic spray bar out of some of my scrap acrylic, which is great. But the long one is going to require more, and I thought what I'd do is I put together a PVC one here just to show you how it looks and give you the pros and cons for both of them. And then I'm going to put up a poll in the next day or two, and you guys can let me know which one you prefer. I mean, we're not talking about a lot of acrylic here. This is not one of those things where if I put together an acrylic spray bar system for this, I'm not going to be able to do something else. It's not like that. I mean, I do have, like I said, a fair amount of it in stock. This is more something I want to keep in my mind as I do things going forward. And actually, to tell the truth, in the last year and a half, it's pretty much reinforced that in my mind anyway. But it's always good to not think that this is all over yet. There's going to be a fair amount of other stuff that's going to come out of all this nonsense. And I just, like I said, I just want to be, in my mind, conscious of this sort of thing. So anyway, so I'm going to put those two up. They both have their pros and cons. Acrylic, obviously, is aesthetics. Everything on that pond, including the egg collector, it's all nice and clear. Now, obviously, as time goes on, algae is going to grow and other stuff and plants and all that sort of stuff. But for the moment, it is, a nice crystal clear setup, and it's nice looking. The downside of it is it splashes everywhere, so I don't get as much water going exactly where I want as this will have. I mean, this is obviously not clear. It's got writing on it, all the non-aesthetic aspects of PVC, but all the water goes exactly where I want it to go. So anyway, I'm going to put up a poll. You guys figure it out. You let me know. And moving forward, it's not going to affect the pots themselves because they are going to stay as I wanted them to. I mean, as I'm saying all this to you, I'm already very conscious of making sure I don't waste anything on a project. So as this progresses forward, I can add and take out and all that sort of stuff. All the stuff I've already told you about, so that's a good thing. So if you're wondering why I'm doing this instead of clamping it in place, my mill only has a limited back and forth motion, and I didn't want to take everything apart and strap this to the bed to get the extra bit of movement. So because these holes aren't crucial where they are, you can just clamp it in place like this. And the nice thing about a mill, this is why I like a mill way more than a drill press, I can roughly place it where I am. Like I'm just eyeballing it here right now, getting it roughly where I want it. Then I clamp it in place or use a vice grip, get it held, and then I can move the bed of the mill so that's where I need it to be. It's more accuracy that I need for this. And in truth, I could probably just hold this with my hand and do it, but I like to be reasonably accurate when I do these things. And even though this is, again, just slightly better than handheld, it does give me that a little extra bit of accuracy. So the holes look a little bit nicer. And as you can see, they're spread out now. There's 2 holes, 2 inches apart, and then there's a 4-inch gap because there's these planter pots are so far 6 inches long. Again, I can change that, but this gives me 2 spray sections per pot, and I'm setting it for 4. Because I'm not gluing anything in place, I will be able to take the end cap off of this, and I can put an extension on it, like coupling, and then add more, depending on how much flow I get. And then as far as the acrylic one, I'm going to test that out a little bit longer, depending on which way you guys want to go. And then with that one, I'll probably have to build the whole thing all at once. But there is a way I can probably do it segmented, but again, we'll see which way you guys come down on this. So what I'm going to do here, because I can't have, I think it's a little over 2 feet of PVC piping just flopping around in the end. I need some supports for it. So I took a little bit of the offcuts here, and I'm going to make 2 brackets. I'm not going to glue them, or sorry, weld them onto the tank. But in the long term, I can, and it's a great support system, and they will definitely stay in place. So that is, I guess, that part will stay clear, at least. So I'm going to use just a couple clamps to hold this in place, as you saw in the thumbnail. And again, depending on how you guys come down on the pole, I either switch this out or go back to the acrylic ones. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I mean, this is very easy to work with, both materials, PVC and acrylic, and like I said, there's nothing really difficult about this, except apparently clamping it in place. Trying to clamp 1/4 inch acrylic with a vice grip, I probably should have done 2, but I didn't have another one handy. It moved a little bit. It doesn't make any difference for this project because these are just temporary, but it's a thing you have to think about when you're doing these things, because they will move around a little bit. And here you go. I've shown you so many weld ups for acrylic. This is going to be the shortest one ever because I'm only making these 2 simple little brackets. Yeah, it's going to be over very, very fast, and that's all there is to this. I'm going to take that spray bar, plug it into the PVC pipe, the fittings that are on the tank itself, and these are just going to feed over it, and then I'm going to use clamps to hold it in place, and that's it. That's going to be the whole build for this. I like both, so we'll see how it all goes. I actually am getting a bit of organic buildup now in the pond. It's mostly because that coral I used for the barrels, I mean, it was live rock at some point in the distant past, and it does have organic matter on it. And so probably before I put fish in it, which will be shortly, I think, I am going to do probably a fairly substantial water change. You can see it right in the back there. There's a bit of foam. It's not a big deal, but I'll probably do, like I said, a big water change. So there you go. There's a bracket, one of the 2, I should say, and I'm just going. This is a very simple setup. That's another nice thing about PVC. I'll take this out. This took 10 minutes to put together, and even including the brackets. And if I wanted to, it's obviously very simple for me to weld those into place. And like I said, if we go that route, that's what I'll do, because I can still pull this pipe out and do changes to it. So that's, like I said, not really that important. So they're going to hang roughly about there, but I need to put a clamp on that. I'm going to put another clamp on the other side, and as you can see, this is a much cleaner water delivery system. It just is. That's the pro for this. Now I can switch that around the other way so that the writing is in the back, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm going to put that pole up today. When I'm doing this, we are Thursday. I will probably put it up Friday or Saturday, and you guys can have a look at it and tell me what you think. I mean, you can see how much water I have, actually, which is really kind of nice. I didn't really get a good look at that when we were doing the acrylic one, and I was kind of concerned that it might not get enough to go 3 or 4 pots. This is 4, and it's more than I need, so I could probably put about 6 on this without any real issues. So anyway, let's figure it out. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this, what you think of the other look as well, and please get into the poll and let me know what you think about that. So as always, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you guys coming by and watching what I do here, and I will see you in the next video, and bye for now.